at them and saying, why didn't anybody tell them this when they were in high school? Why didn't they know this before they got into our office? Why is it that we are working with a freshman in high school or a freshman in college who's taking this, this, and this, and they really need to be taking this, this, and this at another college because of what their long-term goals are? And so we started this company a little over 2 years ago to have those conversations with local parents and help them prepare early so that we can plan. Because at a certain point, right, your grades, your GPA, the classes that you take, all of those things grow, right? And if you don't take this math now, you can't take this math later, you can't take that math there, and that's why it takes 7 years to get an engineering degree, right? But if you take this now, this then, this tomorrow, it grows, right? It all builds, and that's hard. And we realized that the reason we can have jobs is because if you think about your high school, how many guidance counselors are at your high school? You need to know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Seven.
7? And how many high school students?
3,000.
3,000. So they've got just under 500 students. And they work 9 months out of the year, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 3-ish. We gave up sleeping when we started our company. We're here on the evenings, we're here on the weekends, because realistically, that's when you're all available as well, right? Trying to go to parent-teacher conferences at 2 o'clock on a Thursday can be tough if you are employed so you can help your kids, right? So we do all of that, and that's how we came into being. And we happened across Ed, our paths crossed very serendipitously, and we realized that we wanted to help students, and being able to help student athletes is even better because we've also both seen on our other side what it's like when you get recruited by a school and you're not prepared. I worked at the University of Wyoming for 6 years, and seeing some students that were recruited there coming from Atlanta that had no idea what they were getting into, you want to talk about fear on their face when they stepped off the plane in August and it's 50 degrees. They weren't ready, right? They're just not ready, and then the culture's different, and so if we can help students be more prepared for that, specifically student athletes when, right, like we said, they're going to pay you $250,000 over 4 years, you should use it, right? And the number one thing that we talked about with Ed, and that all of the people we know that were athletes in college, the ones that made the most of it, they got their degrees and now have a backup plan, right, in case they don't get to go pro, they're the ones that are the happiest. The ones that didn't, they regret the opportunity. So that's why we decided to partner with YOUniversity.
Thank you for killing some time for me. I will get that survey up because it's important. I want to show it to you. I need to get on the internet to do it. Okay, so here is a profile of a baseball player. I'm not going to bore you with every single detail, but that's a picture of him in his Dear Coach letter, okay? It's very important when you sit down to write that, to write it as a broad spectrum. You're talking to any coach that may be interested in you. You're telling them about yourself, not just on the field. Who are you? Do you do community service? Do any of you guys do any community service? You do? That's awesome. Keep that documented no matter what you do, okay? Coaches love to see that. Community service is huge. So right here is the highlight film I was talking about, the skill, the training highlights. This is actual game footage. This is what a coach is going to see. All the contact information. When you scroll down, I'm doing this quickly, transcripts. So this coach will look in there, click transcripts. Brings up, he'll go right to your GPA, see what's going on, what classes you're taking. Here's a little bit of quick stats, right? Batting average, on base, you can read it. Stolen bases, pop. His schedule. College coach is going to look at this and say, where's he going to be? Oh, look at this. He's going to be at Coastal Carolina on October 8th, 9th. We're going. We're on a recruiting trip. We're going to be seeing that. Thanks for letting us know. That's why the schedule's there. So when a coach gets the profile, he receives it, first thing he's going to do is open the link. It's going to go right there on his laptop, just like that. It's just a link. The whole thing explodes, and then he can drill down into it. The second he's interested in you, or you, he's going to do one or two things. He's going to contact YOUniversity, and he's going to say, I am very interested in this young man. Or he's going to contact the parents, sometimes the player, and tell you the same thing. That's when the first conversation happens, okay? Next becomes possible official visits, unofficial visits. We can get into that in detail. When you enroll in YOUniversity, you will I told you one of the first things that you'll do is speak with Collegiate Concierge, but the first thing that's probably going to happen is this is going to get mailed out. And you guys can look at this way up here. It's a packet of information. On the left side, there are items like preparing to speak with college coach. Not the parent, the student athlete. Okay? Communicating with coaches for the first time. Official visits, 20 questions to expect. We went around and took a survey. What are the top questions that you're going to ask my athletes when they walk in the door? Or on the phone? What's the first thing you're going to be asked? This is study material. A lot of your interview has to do with how you answer these questions. There's a checklist of items that we need back from you. It's very small. It's 1 through 8, and some of it includes signing, so I don't even know if I'm going to call that a checklist. 1 through 8, when you provide that information back to us, that gets created. That starts the ball rolling on that, because I need your still shots. I teach you how to write a Dear Coach letter. I'll give you an example of a Dear Coach letter, but it's going to be your writing. You're going to write it. And once all this information comes back to me, we create this profile. There's a contract. Here's something very important. College-bound student athlete guide directly from the NCAA. Changes every year. Parents, if you go in here, you'll look. Sophomore, junior, senior, freshman, different rules, different things you can and cannot do. Some of you know it, some of you don't. There's no way to memorize this. Division II sliding scales. Very good information in here. I read it almost every day because you just can't, you can't really memorize that kind of stuff. We do have another partner, Educational Excellence. They only handle your SAT and your ACT prep. They'll do virtual training with you to get a better test score, essentially, okay? A lot of people take their ACT or SAT and they don't do well. You can retake it. This company will guarantee that they increase the score. Kind of smart. They do it virtually. So this is really the first thing that you'll get, and then you'll get a call, and/or roughly the same time, to set up the first meeting. Okay? And I know we're going to get into a bunch of questions here in a second. And while we're asking questions, I will bring up that survey. How much is our fee? Our fee is normally $1,295 with a $475 annual enrollment. Any baseball player associated with this facility, HQ4, pays $1,195 with no enrollment fee. You pay one time, you're a freshman, you're never paying me again. You're never paying Athlete University again. Their services are included. Their first meetings, I think it's 2 is what it ends up being, right?
So we do that whole applicant analysis that we talked about, right, which is going to help with goal setting. And then we have 4 touch points throughout the year to touch base. But yes, you get that applicant analysis so that you know if you need to increase your ACT score or SAT score, what the goal is for GPA. Because realistically, over the course of 4 years while you're in high school, if Louisville, you know I had to mention Louisville, I'm a Cardinal, but if Louisville changes from a 3.9 to a 3.87, you know what the goal is, right? It's right there. So what we're doing is creating benchmarks, and parents, what that gives is intrinsic motivation, right? So then you're not saying, go to class, do your homework, do well on the test, how'd you do on your test? Did you take that test? How'd that test go? Because you guys know, right? If the goal is to go be a Cardinal, right? Everybody wants to be a Cardinal. But if the goal was to go be a Cardinal, and you got to have that 3.89 GPA, and the 12.16 on your SATs or 24 on ACT, you already know it, right? You print it out, you put it on the fridge, you put it on the bathroom mirror, that's the goal, right? And if it changes by 0.2, but you're a heck of a ball player, the coaches can argue for that, right? What they can't argue anymore is that 2.2, right, NCAA eligible student to come into a school where the average is a 3.65.
Right.
They can't. So we set those goals, we give you that, and then of course you're able to reach out to us if there's things that we can help you with later. But that, we come in and we do that as part of the Athlete University ASAP program.
Okay, so I do want everybody to meet Ed Mencken today and shake his hand. He's a CEO. He'll answer a lot of our questions as well. I know you're up here. Did you want to say anything, Webster?
Yeah. About the recruiting process. Quick story on me. I got extremely lucky. I had 0 offers going into my last game of high school.
Last game of high
Last game of my high school career. I didn't know what college was. I didn't know how to get into college. I didn't know that your grades mattered at the time. So the coach comes up to me in the 4th inning and said, "Have you signed?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" It's like, I don't have no idea what you're saying. He says, like with a college, are you wanting to go to school and play baseball? I said, yeah, I guess, you know. Well, he said, we got you clocked at this mile an hour. He's like, I'm going to offer you right now. And I said, absolutely. I will do whatever's needed. What school is this again? He's like Gardner Webb. And I was like, oh, what is that? So then I said, yeah, I'm going to sign here. I'm going to do my research. So find out some of my best friends from high school are going. They're trying to create a powerhouse. I end up going to the school. But as far as transcripts and all that go, I was ineligible first 2 days of our season because I didn't get all my stuff in. I had no idea what to do. I was missing like a couple of forms, so I had to sit here and watch a team practice. Not only that, but when you sign, I think I signed my national letter of intent in June or something, June or July. I had a month to get all that stuff together. That is not enough time. It's really not. My first day of class, I show up the night before. I'm moving all my stuff in. I didn't go to any of the open houses. First day of class, I don't even know what the school, YOUniversity, how to get to my classes, what are my classes. Had to go to the office, get my class, where they're at, and I was asking people, how do I get to my class? So every class I showed up to that day, I was late. So that's a red flag with baseball. I already had 4 strikes the first day because I was late to 4 classes. But that's my story. Senior year was a little late.
Was this program helped you? Or
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, I met Matt at a Hopewell game, and it's kind of funny. I was getting in my car. I had a foot in my car door, and the guys that have played with me, you guys have been on my team for a while, and my goal and the reason I'm still here is I want to see you through. I've been with you since day one, and my goal is to see every one of my kids go to college, whether that's to play baseball or not. But most of you guys have the talent to play baseball. But Matt comes up to me, and I said, here we go. Here comes another parent that wants to talk to me. I was like, what? And I looked at him, I was like, what, man? But then he's like, hey, I'm Matt Turse. I want to introduce myself. What's funny is we didn't talk about Athlete University at all. What we talked, 2.5 hours? So our game ended at 6:30. I was out in the parking lot till 9. The girlfriend's blowing up my phone, where are you at? But I really liked what he was talking about, and I was telling him what I do, kind of what I do at HQ4, and maybe one day put this together and see what we can go. And I was telling him about what I do here as pitching coordinator. My travel team at the time was 15U, and I was telling him about my team. But
that was a year ago.
Yeah, it was a year, and it's my fault. It took a year to get him in here. Al was talking about one day the thing that he had with the Coach's Corner, and I said, we need to get Matt in here. This opportunity needs to happen today, and we met with him 3 weeks ago, and now we're here today. But a lot of good information. I'll back him, and I'll back my families as well. I mean, any questions you guys have for us, I'll be happy to answer them now. Call me, email, whatever.
And I do want to say one thing that from our initial meeting with Matt, the biggest thing that stood out to me that made Athlete University special in my eyes was I look at HQ4 as being different from a lot of the other guys in our business because we're a family business. We know every single person's name. We care about our personal relationship with you guys. We care about the individual kids and what happens to them. If somebody leaves our program, he and I look at each other and we're genuinely upset about it. A lot of our competitors, if somebody leaves, they're like, whatever, we'll just replace them. That's what makes us different. Talking to Matt, that's how they are. They're like the HQ4 of their business. Everybody that comes into Athlete University is not a number, they're not a dollar sign. Like he said, he's at the games, he's cheering you on, he's talking to you. If you have a question, you're stressed out, you call him, you email him. They're actually there for you. They're not just collecting money and then dipping out on you and they're not worried about you after that. We got our money, whatever. That's not the attitude with them, and that was what stuck really, really